Hey yo, what's up? Look at this amazing project that we get into our nose, right? Under our nose, whatever. I don't know the phrase, but look at this cool project, okay? You're gonna be learning CSS, JavaScript, and HTML all together and manipulate the DOM. Yes, let's enter a keyword, okay? For now, we search up food, which is very specific, right? Only one food. When we click on it, it shows us our instructions and everything and ingredients. But the only problem is when we click on it, right? When we hover it, we don't know. We don't know what we if it's clickable or not. But that you guys can find out. So let's search up a keyword. Okay, we search up anything. Okay, A's, whatever. Let's click on this one. Bam. What did we get? We get that. Let's click on Big Mac. And here's the ingredients. Pretty cool, y'all. Y'all gonna like it, and it's pretty nice. And let's see if we don't have anything and just search up like that. There's nothing, right? There's nothing. Initially, it's like this, so we have nothing. Enter a keyword because we didn't enter anything, and then we just enter random stuff. What is it gonna say? It's saying no recipe found. All right, guys. That's it. Let's dive into the projects. So exclamation mark, enter, and then it's gonna be very very simple. Okay, we're gonna write down recipe finder. That's our title. And sorry about the noise, guys. I'm in my car trying to teach y'all because this is my passion. All right, each one we want to have a header. We're gonna name it the same thing, recipe finder, and then down here we want an input, right? Type of text, and then ID. We want to set the ID to search. Input. These are very important, okay? Make sure to have the same ID and stuff. Placeholder. Enter a recipe keyword. All right. Now we got our input set. Want to close it. And then we want button. A button would be search and our ID. Since we only have one button, yeah, let's just do it. Why not? Right? Search. Just call it search button. Okay, we want to be very descriptive about our namings because they're very important. And we want a div. Inside our div, we want to leave it empty. Okay, we want ID. We want recipe list. Okay, these will be listed from JavaScript. And we want to take this ID and then add something. It would display on the page. That's why we have it empty here for now. And another one is the recipe details. Okay, ID recipe details. And now we want to have it be empty as well because we want to be able to show it later. And want class name to be recipe details. Recipe details. And then we want to have a style to be display none because we're going to change the display to block soon. Okay, we want to hide it initially. All right, let's go ahead and do this and make sure we link our JavaScript. If not, we will never see what's going on, right? So projects, under projects, project 6, and then there. So let's go ahead and open our tab. That's how we do it. Okay, here we go. Hopefully y'all can see it. Now we got nothing. It's very basic, okay? Very basic, but I want to teach y'all the logics on how to incorporate CSS, HTML, and JavaScript, and how to manipulate the DOM. That's where most important skills come in. As a front end developer, you need to know how to do that, right? You need to know how to send and manipulate data. All right. Now that we got that, let's go ahead and do our stuff. But let me show you side to side so you guys see what's going on, okay? Let me hide this up a little bit. I know it's a small screen, but we don't need this yet. Let's do that, okay? Hopefully y'all can see everything. So in this step right here, it's called selecting DOM elements, okay? We want to take the search input. I will elaborate on this later down the road. We want to get the ID and the input. We call it search input. We can also grab it by class name. So please do your research on HTML first before coming here, but it's okay. You can start right here as well. No problem. Okay, because the ID, if we do class, we gotta do class, or there's other one called query selector, and we might use that later. I don't know yet. But yes, we grabbed our input. So let's show you what's going on here. Let's console log it, see what we're grabbing. Search input, okay? Now let's see. That's what we're grabbing. We're grabbing the whole element, okay? Cool. I'm just showing y'all. And then the other one, we wanna grab all the elements. Okay. Const search button. Want to do document to speed up the process. I want to do this. And we need 4 of these, right? Search input, search button, btn, tn. And the other one, we want recipe list, and then recipe details. All right, now we grab all of those. Now we gotta change it to search button, recipe list, and then recipe details. Beautiful. Okay, we're gonna go down, and right here we're gonna call an API, right? Const API URL. We want to be able to get whatever we choose. So it's from HTTP. Let me just copy down the link. I don't want to write it down, but everything will be inside. Okay, it will be down below. You will see this. So we got this, and the S is for search. Okay, whatever search we have here. All right, we got our API. Now we wanna be able to get something from here. Let's see. We want to create in-sync function. In-sync await. They are the ones where you fetch stuff and then you have to wait, right? It returns something. That's why we need to do async await. Anytime you fetch an API or data, you gotta do that. Okay, try. We want const. Okay, we grab all of these already, so let's make it smaller so you can see what's going on here. Const, we wanna keep our response. So there is try and catch, okay? Try and catch statement. What the hell? Try. And then we can do catch down here. So catch. our catch is error. So catch is whatever error the data brings, right? Whatever the fetch brings. So we handle it right here. Let's handle that first. And we want not console.log, console.error. We want error fetching. And we just want to add the response here. Error. Okay, that's our response. Cool. And then, okay, we want recipe list. So we're grabbing it. Dot inner HTML. This we're gonna display on the page. Okay, that's why we use dot inner HTML. And then we want, let me do this, p tag, something went wrong, try again. Okay, put the code here, here. We need to do that. Okay, all right, now we handle the error. Let's go ahead and handle our response. Const, we want to, add the response to our variable. So we want to do await. Anytime you use ANSIC, you gotta do await with a fetch. Okay, we want to fetch this query. Later down the road, we want to call this fetch recipes somewhere. Okay, we want to get the API first and append this here to the search. Okay, that's what we're doing right there. Sorry about the noises, guys. And then let's see our responses. Okay, let's console log it so y'all can see what we're doing here. I don't want to leave you guys hanging, but in order to make this work, we gotta call it. Okay, of course we're not gonna have anything yet, so it will be empty response. Okay, body, but we want to add something, just food, I guess. Okay, let's see what we got. See our response. This is what we getting. Get everything here, but what really matters is the data. Where is the data? So it's something called the data. Okay, undefined. Why are we getting undefined? Okay, we get it undefined, but data. Okay, let me do this. Const data. We want to set this await response dot JSON. Let's make it JSON and let's see data. Cool, we got our arrays. It's called meals. Inside the meals, we're gonna have a bunch of stuff. Okay, that's why we do that. Perfect, right? All right. Now we're gonna go extra steps to check if things are right. Want to make sure we always get some data before we run this thing. Okay, data.meals. As you can see, we had the meal showed up here, right? And then we want to call another function where, so let's go ahead and make this function first. Display recipes. Self-explanatory, right? Recipes. We want to accept a parameter again, right? Just leave it like that. We're gonna call display recipes. We want to take this stuff here, data.meals. I want to send in all the object. Okay, and we're gonna do something here later. But else, if something went wrong and there's nothing there, the recipe.list.inner text HTML, right? P tag, no recipes found. Try again. Okay? Y'all see why we do that. I'll show you later. Cool. And then recipe details dot style. Remember we had the style display. None. We don't want to show the display details, right? This is right here. For now we have it as display none. We're gonna have it at display none again. Okay. All right. Now that we handle that, y'all gonna see what's going on though. Okay. We want to do recipe.list.inner text. We want to start off as empty DOM. We don't want to show any of the list. All right, we want to clear it every time. And then we want to take the recipes right here, the object, right? For each, we want to loop this. And we want recipe, call it whatever you want here. And now const recipe card document dot create element. So this is different. This will create a div. Okay, anytime we see a new recipe added, we want to add another div. And then recipe card dot class name, we want to add the class name now as well. We want to call it recipe card. And then recipe card dot inner text. Now we want to add image tag. We're gonna receive some image. Okay. Image has that. And source. Ooh, no. Okay, source. This is how we take the data. And we're gonna go with recipe dot str meal thumb. These comes from the back the data, okay? We receive these from the data. So you can double check. And the alt want to have the name, right? Want to say recipe dot str meal. Cool. And then inside here we want to have h3 tag and then want to do recipe dot str meal. Cool. I'll go over this again once we hit the once we go here and do the process. Okay, very nice. Now we want to do recipe card dot, we want to add event listener. Okay, event listener, one listen for the click. What do we want? Want to send in an object called display recipes. This recipe details. So this is another function we want to show. Call it recipe. Recipe. Okay, this one right here. Oh, it needs to be in here. Okay. And then right here, recipe dot recipe list dot append child. It's called append child. We want to append the recipe card. So this is what's going on. Okay. Let's back it up and let's see. All right. Here, we're fetching some data. We're getting a response. A response. We attach our API plus a query coming from the the fetch we're doing, right here. Yeah, we're gonna call this later, so you'll see. And then we put our data in JSON, and we're checking if there are meals. If so, we want to call the display recipe. We send in the data. Else, we want to say something, and then we're catching the errors. And then down here, our recipe, display recipes receive these data, okay? And these data, and starting, we want to have our DOM to be completely empty. And then we loop through our items, right? All our recipe, and we destruct, make it a smaller, so version, like a single item called recipe. And then we create a recipe card. It's called card, right? With create element, a div. And then we attach the class name. And then we update the DOM to the image and the name. And then we take the recipe card. We're waiting for the listen, right? Which is click. And we want to call the display details. And we put in the single recipe that whatever we clicked on. And then we take the recipe list, which we grab from here. We're going to append this card inside. And that's what basically going on. And we're going to talk about displaying details later. And then a bunch more stuff. So stay tuned, y'all. Part 2 coming. All right, y'all. Part 2. All right. So we created a display recipe details function right here, right? And I already explained these stuff. Now let's go ahead and make our function, because right now it's not available, right? So we're gonna do display recipe details, the function, and then we want to recipe, when we call this dot style dot display equals block. Okay, here where we grabbed it from, right? Initially, so this right here, display none, right? And right here, initially display none. We want to show some, okay? When we call it, now we want to do recipe details dot inner HTML. We want to show it. So we're gonna have a bunch of stuff. H2. I'm gonna say recipe.str meal. Okay. And then image. Do image source. And we're gonna do recipe dot str meal thumb. Okay, and alt, we want to do recipe dot str new. Okay, and now we want to put a width here as well. So we do class style. Style. We want width to be 100%. Width to be 100%. Max width 300 pixels. Okay, and then we got a p tag and strong to make it bold. We want to say category, and then strong, and then we want to do not strong here. Over here we want to put recipe dot str category. All these stuff comes from the data, okay? The data fetching. And we're gonna do something like this, right? Okay, so we don't get any more errors. And then let me copy this a couple more times. I want to do area, and then instructions, and then recipe str area, and recipe str instructions, and down here h4 put ingredients. I'll explain this all over again, okay? And then we want a ul list of stuff. We want to get ingredient list and recipe. I want to map it. I want to say ingredient, okay, ingredient li list, then ingredient, and then close the li, and then the join. Okay, join is just to separate, right? To add empty spaces between them. Okay, now we want to create a get ingredient list as well. Okay, since we called that function get ingredient list, recipe, want to take in a parameter, and const ingredients, want to make it empty, set it to empty, and we'll loop it for let I equals 1. We're going to start at 1, and I is less than equal to 20 because we only want to show 20 for now, right? the I plus plus. Then we're gonna do const ingredient recipe, and we're gonna append the ingredient. Okay, we're gonna do str ingredient I. Not like that, like this. Okay, now we're gonna const measure recipe do the same thing with str measure wait measure I. All right, and we want to check if ingredient and ingredient dot trim does not equal empty, right? We want to do ingredients dot push ingredient and then the measure. Okay, that's what we have for now. Cool. And then we want to return ingredients so we can access them. Okay, and now we want to listen to the search button dot add event listener. Want to listen for the click again, and then we want to do const query equals search input dot value dot trim. Okay, if so, fetch the recipes. Here where we're gonna call the query, see a query, and then else alert, please enter a search keyword. All right, now let's see what we got. Let's go over here. Let's do this, and we do food. Want to search. What are we getting? Let's see what we got. Okay, obviously nothing's working here. All right, so let's listen to the search button. Let's see if we get stuff right. By ID search button, and let's go ahead and console log click. Okay, let's console log the click. See if we got anything. Okay, let me refresh it. There we go. Alright, I just needed to refresh it. Refresh again and do food. There we go. That's what we have right here. Right? And when we click on the card, what would it do? It should give us the details, but it's not right now, right? Okay, something's wrong. Recipe is not defined at display recipe details. We're gonna find out later, all right? That's for part 3. All right, guys, part 3 is back. I'll have to try to see what happens here. So when we click on this, see, it's saying recipe is not defined at display recipe details. Let's go ahead and figure out why that happens. Okay, this display recipe details is saying recipe is not defined. So did we miss something? Recipe. Maybe we have to pass something in, right? Recipe. Because when we look at this, yes, we do. So let's go ahead and do that. And let's refresh this and do food again. Let's search it up. Click on it. There we go. See, sometimes you just have to find what's wrong with it. But here, these are the details. Okay. We're gonna be doing a little bit of, just a little bit, okay? Just a little bit of CSS. Not much. Okay. This is not CSS course or whatever. We're gonna do a little bit, okay? And the way we do that is to go over here and create a new file, say styles.css, okay? All right. Okay, let me expand this a little bit and we can close down our thing. But I'm gonna explain later on what's going on in JavaScript, okay? So hang on tight. We're gonna make it look beautiful. Wait, before we make it look beautiful, let's go ahead and talk about it. Why not, right? Why not? Why not? Let's talk about JavaScript. All right. You guys ready for this crazy, crazy stuff? All right, here we go. We're gonna go in details, y'all. Are you guys ready? This has never done before, right? Cool. Now let's go ahead and start from top to bottom. All right. And we're gonna pull this up later, okay? For now, let's just ignore it. So what happens here? This right here is called DOM elements, okay? We're getting the DOM elements. Sorry about the noises, guys. Dang. So right here, we're grabbing the tag, the input tag, grabbing the search button, grabbing the recipe list and details from here, HTML, okay? And right here, this is API. This right here is the base URL of the API that returns recipes based on the search query, okay? The S right at the end allows you to append the search keyword dynamically, okay? And now we go down here to the function called fetch recipes. We want to fetch and display based on the search query. And this is what we're doing here, right? And we go ahead and use the fetch right here. As you can see, we append our query with the base URL, okay? And await, async await, right? Await ensures the code waits until the request completes, okay? That's what async await is. And here we want to JSON data. We want to convert the data into JSON format, which is easier to work with, in JavaScript. And then I already explained this later on, right? Here we check if the API return any recipes, right? If so, then we want to call the display recipes from here. And we got the argument, no, parameters, and we pass it there. And here, it doesn't matter what you call it, okay, the parameter. Call it whatever you want, but it makes sense to call it whatever it is that represent this data, okay? And down here, if there is no, okay, let's put it into action then. Let's search up something. See, this is the code we got from here. It depended, and then did display recipe details? No, right? Because we don't have any, so it doesn't make sense. All right. If something wrong with the API, okay, let's just delete the B for now. Let's try to search food. Initially, it was working, right? See, something went wrong. Try again. Now it came from this right here, the backend, the catch area. Okay, let's bring that back. All right, and let's go here. Display recipes. Initially, we want everything to be empty, right? Because we're gonna keep searching stuff. We want the HTML to display the stuff that we're searching for. Okay, and now we got the recipe, so let's put it into action. Food. Let's console log it right here so you can see what's going on. Recipes, okay, in details, right? Cool. Let's search up food. There we go. We get our stuff back. Let's see. These are the stuff we got. See? The name, str area, ID meal, whatever, right? So that's what we got right there. And then we created a card. Look. Okay, I'll show you the element of what's going on. Body. I'll show you in detail. And body div right here. Not quite. Okay, recipe list, and appended a card. You see right here. This is what we got here. And then if we refresh, this is what we're gonna have. We got that, and the input, and the search button, and the empty recipe list and details, right? Now you see nothing in here, and you see nothing in here also. But if we search up food, now there's something in there appended called recipe card, and the class name, as you can see, class name right here, recipe card, and inside we got the inner HTML right here. This is the inner HTML tag. Okay, we got the str meal thumb and str meal and stuff, and the recipe, right? So let me show you, and here are the data that we got from str thumbnail, right here. These are the image. Cool. And now let's go to the elements, click on it. What happens here? It changes to block. You see? Now we got all the details. The p tag. So yes, figure that out yourself, but I'm explaining it while we add it. And then we go down here. You already know that these we create a recipe card each time, right? And we listen to the click, and when we click on it, what do? We display the details, right? Initially it was empty. It was hidden, not empty, sorry. And the recipe list we appended, right? So over here we append it in there. just like that. Cool. Then recipe details, right? Once we hit this and call this, we display it to block. You saw that in action, right? And then the inner HTML and whatever we got there. And then here the ingredients list and stuff. The LI, see the ingredients here. That's what we have. And then we get ingredient, yep, here, all right? Cool. All right, and then wait, do I need to explain this? Cool. All right. And down here, the most important one to make everything work, right? When we click on this search button, it's gonna call, and then yeah, we're gonna get the user input right here, right? And trim any leading trailing white space. Okay, we don't want any white space, that's why we trim it. And then we check if the query is not empty, we want to call the fetch. Say we did, right? Else we wanna enter a keyword. So here, alert. Let's just do this. See? There we go. Now y'all see in action. Let's go ahead and style these up. We created our styles.css, and here we want to link it. Okay, link project 6 style.css. All right, let's go to style.css and let's go and make this thing look a little better. Cool. Let me make this smaller. Cool. Let's get rid of that. Cool. All right. We want to take the body. We want to do padding of 20 pixels. See the padding? And then font family. Want to put some font family. Font family Arial sans serif. We don't want this middle one. Okay, make it look a little bit better. I want to take the recipe list. All right, let's search the food up first. Initially it's like this. Now we're gonna get recipe list right here, right? Recipe list. Let's see. Recipe list. There is no class name. So the class name dot recipe list. It's gone. We want to display grid. Okay, a grid template columns. Want to do repeat, and want to do auto fit, and min max do 200 pixels 1 fr. Cool. Now we do some gap. Okay, gap 20 pixels. Let's search it up. Well. Okay, but we want the card. Okay, we want to get the recipe card and make it look better. Dot recipe card. Remember, we don't have it now, but it's gonna be there when we search it, right? You saw it in action. We want border 1 pixel solid. Okay, kind of like gray color. See? And then we want padding, not padding 8 pixels. Ooh, look at that. And then we want text and line, the center. Look at that. And then we want box shadow. We want 0, 2 pixels, 5 pixels, RGBA 0, 0, 0, 0.1. Cool. We got the box shadow already. Box shadow already. Alrighty. So recipe card, we got this box shadows and stuff already, right? Now we want to target the image. The recipe card image, that's how we go into it. Want to do width 100%, not pixels. See, 100%, and border radius. Border radius, we want to do 8 pixels. Make it rounded a little bit so it looks better too, right? And then we want to target the recipe details now. Let me click on it. This recipe details, and margin top 20 pixels. So we give some margin, and padding 10 pixels. Get some padding, and then border 1 pixel solid gray again, right? Cool. And then box shadows, want to do the same thing, so we can just copy it. Cool. Something like that. Look at it. But we want to also target the button, right? Make the search input look better and stuff. So in this case, we only have one input. Might as well do this. Okay. Border 1 pixel solid. Do this too. Okay. And then we want to give some padding, 5 pixels, something like that. And then margin probably like 10 pixels. Margin top or bottom. So, and over here we want to do 0 pixels. Okay. And then we want to do border radius about 8 pixels as well. Okay. And then we want to do width full 100%, something like that. And then the button too, I want to change the button, right? I want to do border none. Okay, because we're going to put a background color. Let's do agua. Okay, and then we want to do padding about 5 pixels as well. Maybe 10 pixels. Okay, border radius 8 pixels, and then color gray. Okay, Not gray, but closer to gray, something like that. Cool. And let's make this a little bigger. Height 50 pixels. Make it a little bigger, something like that, right? And here we want height to be 40 pixels. Make it bigger and do width full. 100% too. Make it look like that. And then we want to do a margin bottom about 10 pixels. So we have some space. Look at that. Okay. Just a little bit better. Now let's go ahead and delete everything. And let's search up noodles. How about that? Ooh, look at that. Let's see the details. Wow. Beautiful. But yeah. And also, if you want to do like you search and then just hit enter and it search stuff, you can go over here and try it out. But let's see. Where is our fetch? Search button. Cool. All right. We want to listen to search button click, right? So we want to listen to different stuff. And we want to listen for the keyword or whatever. So you can try and do that. But I'm not going to do that today. So thank you for tuning in. I hope you guys like it, the way I explain stuff. It might not be on point, but I think it makes sense, right? So yeah, give it a thumbs up, comment down below, and share it to your friends. You know, more and more projects will be coming every single day. Not as big as this, right? These big projects will be once a week, but the tiny ones will be there every single day. All right, guys, peace out and see y'all later.